Hey, this is Notser. In today's video, we are going to see a real treat. This is my updated current meta Z-52, the tier 10 German destroyer. We are on the map Warrior's Path, and the build is on the screen. Now, usually my build involves torpedo reload improvement. In slot 6, it would be torpedo reload. In the second level 3 skill, instead of basic firing training, it would be inevitably torpedo reload. And that's how I would play it, with super slow gun reload and super fast torpedo reload. And that's just the trait of the Z-52. No longer is that relevant in the current meta. Now, the adjusted skills, slot 6, main battery reload, and the second level 3 skill, basic firing training. Both of these coupled together gives me a reload of around 3.2 to 3.6 seconds. It's much faster than the 4.5 base that it's stuck with, and it actually feels great now. The guns are scary, the torpedoes are scary. It has hydroacoustic that's much longer range than the Brits. You can't compare them and say that they just completely replace them, because it's a different style of play. And we're about to try this out. Now, an enemy Jutland is attempting to contest B point, and my radio location suggests that he is the closest target. And I have my guns ready. Now, German high explosive is not the best, but it's not the worst. The AP shell is so much better than other AP shells that if you're given an opportunity, one broadside, and switching to AP in the right moment and getting a good, clean 3-4K AP salvo, you can do work. You can do absolute work with the Germans. So as I'm moving over towards B point, I'm aware of the exact distance that this Jutland may or may not be for hydroacoustic reveal. Also note, Friedrich der Grosse. He's totally coming towards the center of the map, and I wanted to definitely focus on the Jutland, and if the Jutland reveals my location, well, we're going to smoke out, we're going to hydro, and we're going to limit the number of targets that can threaten us. That's one of the great things about the Germans, is they can smoke hydro and the enemy can't do anything about it, especially the tier 10. So he uses his smoke. I'm using AP on the broadside. I'm getting just enough to justify it. Good, clean, big broadsides. Eventually, I'm able to use my smoke. Note that the angle of the ship is a little too much, so we have to switch to high explosive. But it's more than adequate to take out this target. Just absolutely brutalize the Jutland that tried to brutalize us. And one more salvo. Is that enough? It is enough. See you later, Jutland. Nothing he can do. I just have the superior hydroacoustic range. And it's the Germans' bread and butter. You smoke out and you use hydro to deny line of sight but also gain it. Protects you from torpedoes and you feel like a boss. Next target, enemy Friedrich der Grosse. Felt like he was slowing down and maybe backing up, so instead I'm going to send torpedoes. I'm also going to angle my ship so the AP is a little bit more effective. And I'm just going to fire on cooldown. The German AP is no slouch. And if you can aim at the super and get it to fall just in, oh my god, you're just going to melt targets. This Friedrich der Grosse definitely regrets his choices. And unfortunately, well, fortunately my team takes out the target. But unfortunately my torpedo send completely wasted. But this is the Germans, and the base reload is 90 seconds. That's the absolute worst reload that the German torpedoes will ever have. I have absolutely 0 points, modules invested in torpedo reload now. And I don't feel like I'm missing it at all. I feel like the game comes to me at the right pace. I wouldn't gain much. You know, maybe if I invested completely in torpedo reload, I would now have them fully reloaded. But if I wait 10 or 15 more seconds, you know, what's the big deal? At least I can fight for myself if I run up against an enemy DD. And the current meta demands that you fight for yourself. Enemy Republic, showing a perfect broadside, going full AP on this guy, tons of damage. I send my torpedoes, one at the indicator, the other short, shallow, assuming he'll turn, and I'm just going to commit to capturing the base. This is by far the most important action I'm taking in this exact moment. If we capture the base, we put pressure on the enemy to make a play. It's just not worth revealing my location until the capture is confirmed. So, the game's been going okay, right? It's okay. No big deal. What's so special? Oh, we're about to move into the very hectic part of this game, and the torpedoes that were initially sent for the Republic, he is gonna sail outside of them. I know that he's just moving a little too fast. Even the most right torpedo is not gonna hit him. So instead, I just open up with high explosive. I'm looking for a couple fires on the target, if I'm going to be completely honest. And I, run in the island, pull Notser in an effort to break line of sight. Obviously, it doesn't work. It does look like the Republic will do it himself. But I would just love a fire. Just any single fire. There we go. A fire. It does confirm that the enemy Republic is a fire prevention build, though. Note that the superstructure was taking full damage. It didn't go to the forward or the aft part of the super. But we do good damage. He puts out the fire, a single fire, and completely undetected. The enemy is capturing C point. And note that there's a cyclone incoming. Now, normally this is a bad thing for the Germans, because they can't shoot their way out of a problem. But with this build, you absolutely can. You absolutely are as competitive, if not more competitive, in certain situations than any other Tier 10 DD. Now, would I openly go up against something like Harugamo? No. I would definitely want to work with a teammate to take out the target. But I would want to do that with any Tier 10 DD. It's not smart to fight someone and to allow them to do as much damage or more damage to you with very little to show for it. You need to survive. I mean, this game is not won. It's definitely not won. But we do have a base advantage that will force the enemy to be aggressive. And I expect this Conqueror to be aggressive. Hydroacoustic is ready. It's off cooldown. I may have to use it. And I may have to use it sooner than I expected, because this Conqueror aggressively came around the corner. And I am desperately trying to line of sight with smoke, just to prevent the inevitable full high explosive salvo. Just wrecks DDs. Definitely don't want the Conqueror Fighter's high explosive. So, smokes out, drops off detection. I apparently don't need to use Hydro at this point, and we definitely caused the flood, so it forced out damage control, and yes, he's going to blind fire me. Blind fire did pretty good against him. But note what I'm doing right here. And sorry for the team damage. AP on the bow and stern broadside for DDs is an insane amount of free damage. Absolutely insane. You just do damage to a target that can't defend itself. And that's what those side armored, low armored zones provide, especially for the Germans. So if you're looking to, extend your damage output towards these targets, consider farming with armor piercing. And this looks really bad, right? Friendly's in trouble. I'm in trouble. We have an enemy incoming. I'm going to use Hydroacoustic because I expect him to be within 6 kilometers. And yep, sure enough, he is, the Musashi. It is revealing the Conqueror's position, but that's not the point of this, and the Conqueror just flooded out. The point of this play is to try and protect myself. I don't want to die, so we've got a little bit of high explosive super. Looks like we're going to get a torpedo on the nose. It will definitely force out damage control if he has it. If he doesn't have it, I'm going to have an easy time killing him quickly because he's got one fire and he's got a flood. Both will do tons of damage, and combine that with super. See you later, Musashi. Now, we haven't brought it all the way back, but we've done a ton of damage, and we've done a ton of damage in a pretty reasonable scenario. This is very respectable. This isn't some crazy all-in torpedo and someone forgets to put out a flood and floods out for 100,000 damage. This is really effective gun usage, really effective torpedo usage. It can capture the base, hydroacoustic, smoke. It's got it all. and unfortunately it's got it all in the wrong places right here. I sort of went without looking, and I'm gonna probably pay for it in this enemy republic. He's point blank with me. I send one set, I fire at his nose, looking for a fire. I'm firing at a superstructure, looking for a fire. Does good damage though if you can locate the shells. Ooh, we missed one torpedo, but we do hit two. They cause a flood, and most likely, yes, they force out damage control. Because they forced out damage control, I send my torpedoes knowing that when they reach the target, damage control should be down or very nearly, and the torpedoes are coming right up on top of him. Doesn't cause a flood, maybe a little too soon, but it doesn't matter. Full broadside on his bow, look at how much damage this does. 6k. 3k was left on the target, probably could have done another 6k. Ugh. This is it. This is the build. This is what makes the Z-52 feel like a menace. And you gotta be aggressive using AP in concert with your torpedoes and high explosive. But boy, that felt so much better than so many of my Z-52 games. In a similar scenario, I don't have the damage output to shoot my way to victory. But I do now with this build, and it feels great. There might be concerns that the rate of fire module for your main guns would slow the guns down too much, you know, the turret traverse. No, it's super fast. The only ship that has to consider that is the Shimakaze. Everyone else at tier 10, they've got more than enough turret traverse to add that onto it. So there's only two ships left, a Yue Yang and a Republic. That Republic was very low. I intend to hunt the Yue Yang. My hydroacoustic is still on cooldown, and I don't have that much health, but I think through my playstyle and my skill, I should be able to shoot my way out of this. So we're going to round the corner and see where he is. And of course, he's right in front of us. Great. Just what I always wanted. A target that's right in front of me and has more health. We're going to see how well we shoot our way out of this. Get some good high explosive. I did, consider, should I have AP, HE? HE's more universal. If you run into someone who is pre-angled, that's not good. Oh yeah, by the way, enemy Republic, he headed out towards A point. As far as the ammo though, I always like to lead with high explosive and switch to AP when verified. It feels the most rewarding in all scenarios, and I don't give up as much initially. So, enemy Yue Yang, perfect broadside. Unload my high explosive, switch to AP, unload the AP at the waterline, and look at it, we just melt the target. 3,300 damage in a single AP broadside salvo. It's just beautiful. Best in class AP by far. The closest is the Soviets with I think 26 or 2,700 AP, but this is 3,000. The Brits, the Americans, they're talking about 21, 22 on their AP. So you absolutely can crush them in damage output with this gun build, with these torpedoes, with hydroacoustic, and, yes, the German smoke is mediocre. But in a world just chock full of radar, it doesn't need to be anything special. You can't camp anyway that often. So it feels great. I really love this build. I really believe in this. And this is the identity that every DD feels like they need. It's required in order to exist now, because they all can shoot their way out of problems. Even the Shima now. You're not going to run up against a DD that isn't excellent or great with their guns. That just doesn't exist anymore at tier 10. And I just love the build. I love the ship. I love the identity. It's fun to play. And hopefully, those of you who have followed my content, you're aware of my Z-52 builds. Try this build out. I think you're going to like it. I think it's going to really revolutionize how you view your Z-52 if you've moved away from it because of, power creep. This is this wasn't power crept. This is definitely adequate. You just have to build it right. So we did 180,000 damage, 4 kills, 2,438 base XP, and the damage is absolutely all around. AP, HE, torpedo, a little bit of everything. Oh, it's almost perfect in its distribution. I hope you enjoyed the game. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time.